My name is DeGuzman. I'm 24 years old and I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I actually graduated with a bachelor's in kinesiology, so I've been pursuing a career in personal training for since I was 16 years old, and really happy with where I'm at right now. Training people, coaching people, I get to do that now, and something that I do now is competing and being competitive. It's part of that, getting that experience to be able to kind of give that on to clients. I got into competing basically just by lifting. You have to transition, there's different phases. So you go from being, starting that little training cycle where you just kind of start doing stuff and you get more into it, and then you realize there's a competitive side to it, and that's just part of the sport. So for me, that's kind of just how I got into it. It's just that transition phase, going from training and then it's oh, there's a competition, so let's compete, and that's how I got hooked. I've been competing since 2014, I believe, so it's been a little while. This will be my 5th competition. It took some time off in between just because of injuries and getting busy and stuff, but it's always good to get back, and I'm actually really nervous right now. It feels like it's like my first competition ever. My biggest achievement so far, I've placed first a couple of times, had a handful of records here and there in my weight class. And I've won best lifter 1 time in the 5 times I competed. But again, it just goes part of that process, right? Obviously, that just gets me back more to what I was before, kind of thing, and then just try to see if I can achieve those goals again. The part that I enjoy most about competing is the community. I find that we are competing against one another, but it's when we cheer for one another, when we accomplish something, because we all have that mindset and the same ideas that it's we know what the process is like. It's hard as hell, and training isn't easy, so we understand when it's time to accomplish something that we set out for and we get it. It's an amazing feeling. I've kind of always been a competitive person, not really. I always want to win. I mean, like everyone else, I don't like losing, but in the end of the day, it's kind of I'll always try my best to just be supportive of others. For me, I do want to win. That's just kind of how it is. Nobody really likes losing, but I'll do my best to be humble about it. But yeah, I'm a little bit competitive, yeah.
67.5 kilograms at a record level.
WIT06E02 is a local brand that myself and my good friend Daniel, we created last year. Really, it's not trying to grow a brand or a business or anything. It's really just trying to get people to realize the benefits of physical activity. For us, we find that the life of being sedentary isn't really beneficial for anybody, and people are meant to move. So that's what we find it in, and it's not really just about powerlifting or bodybuilding, weightlifting. It's about just getting active and getting away from sitting on the couch and stuff like that.
I'm Daniel Monteverde, and I've known Henry for more than 10 years now. We were thinking about the whole concept of starting something like this, say for 5 years now, and we've finally put it into practice in June 2016.
Yeah, so with Apex Elite, we do have a couple of our sponsored athletes with us, and outside of just our brand, it's just a bunch of guys that we all work out together, and we all will cheer for each other. And even the people outside of that, we will cheer for them too, just because that's part of the community. And I think that that's part of that makes it really interesting too, like we said. So
Apex Elite is very family oriented. We're very in sync, I guess. Very family oriented and very in sync. We work together in anything, right? I mean, it's not just powerlifters that are together. We have a kind of our fighter side too. So we help motivate each other in everything what we do.
Henry's my coach. He's been training me since about November, I'd say. I currently have an injury. He's been really helpful with just trying to get my bench back up. I lost over 100 pounds on my bench. So I was benching 400 pounds, and now I'm struggling with 300, but that's so much more improvement because of him and Apex Elite. He's actually taking me under his wing, helped me out, being a nice guy, and it's working, so.
The satisfaction I get from helping others, I just find it because I've done it myself. And I think that's the only way that I can really explain it, because I went through phases myself of just trying to grow and become something more than what I am now. And it sounds kind of cheesy, but that's just kind of how it is. I feel like there's more to life than just trying to follow one thing and doing something more. So that's what I find the satisfaction is. I realize that people are capable of doing everything, right? And I feel like if you give them the opportunity, they can, accomplish that.
My name is Brock Haywood. I'm the current president of the Manitoba Powerlifting Association. Been a national referee since 1993 and an international referee since 1996. The growth in our sport has been something that's been a phenomenon for the last couple of years. It's just been amazing. The sport has grown across the country so that in Manitoba now, we're over 100 members. We're still one of the smaller provinces, but we're growing as well. In Canada, 600 used to be the total membership across the country. We're approaching 3,000 now.
I've definitely seen a lot of growth in the sport. It's been crazy. When I first competed, there was really only 30 competitors, I think. Now we're doubling that in the span of like 2 years, something like that. So I won't be surprised if we hit like 100 competitors in a competition, maybe less. 100's probably overreaching, but close to that would be pretty realistic for that kind of number. So
I've known Henry for a couple of years as a lifter. I think Henry came to us as a junior lifter, and he may have set some provincial records. I'm starting to see the community of the lifters that Henry and his partner are influencing. You can see them coming. That's where a lot of our new lifters are coming from. As Henry started a couple of years ago, and as the word spreads and they help to train people and support people in the gym, we're starting to see a lot more lifters that are friends and acquaintances of Henry.
What makes weightlifting different from other sports? In my mind, I think it's really just training. It's about one person, but so that one person can have like an entire team behind them, and it makes the training that much more difficult, but also that much more rewarding in the end. You go through that again. It's a process. Right? You just work your way up, and once you accomplish the goals, it's very satisfying.
Right around 30 seconds.
At a high level, you have to be determined, and you have to have good focus, good ability to keep yourself together mentally. It's good to have a good team of training partners around you, and a decent training program that allows you to progress and to be injury-free.
The hardest thing about training is trying to stop working out when you're injured. That's probably the biggest thing. I mean, it's tough when you kind of get on a roll and it's like you enjoy it a lot. Something that you have a lot of passion for, I mean, it goes with anything, right? Like if you have something that you enjoy a lot, it's hard to stop like right in the middle of it because of something stupid like an injury that you probably did on your own, right? So that's probably the hardest part, is just stepping away and realizing that you need to recover so that you can come back stronger. The types of injuries that I've dealt with is really just lower back stuff, shoulder issues, elbows, wrists. I mean, pretty much anything you name, I pretty much have had it already at this point. But I think it's part of the process too, just learning how well your body can grow from that. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Henry he's very dedicated in what he does. When he sets a goal for himself, he gets it done. So for powerlifting, he's been doing it for I think 5-6 years, and I don't see him stopping anytime soon with powerlifting.
The type of commitment to train every day and compete is really just committing. That's the plain and simple answer. Just do it. Just keep going. Try not to stop because it hurts or it sucks. Just keep going and you'll see results if you just stay consistent. That's the biggest thing. Like, don't just stop because it's like, oh, I feel so sore or that was so hard. Like, it's got to be hard, right? Because then you won't really be pushing yourself.
Hi, I'm Susan Haywood, and I'm the athlete liaison for the Manitoba Powerlifting Association. A lot of people ask me what it takes. I really feel that it's the one word I could say is consistency. It doesn't matter volume, you can have this program, that program. Every program you're gonna really make gains on, but I feel consistency is the key. You can't say, sorry, it's Christmas Day, I'm not working out today. If that's your day to work out, you gotta do it.
A lot of sacrifice, 110%. If you're not willing to sacrifice the time to go out with your buddies, you're not willing to sacrifice, dieting, you're not gonna get to that elite kind of tier or that top level of competitive competition. It takes a lot of heart.
147.5 kilograms at a bracket of 14.
For the mental aspect for competing, it's actually pretty high because you have to be a little bit more strategic at some points, and then other times it's kind of like, okay, obviously you have to push, but like you have to realize what you're capable of. Sometimes you're gonna have a good day, sometimes you're gonna have a bad day, and it all depends on which one it is, right? Sometimes you have to realize that, sometimes you have to pull back, and then other times it's like, okay, let's go all out kind of thing. So it is a lot of mental than it is physical, I think, in my opinion, but that's just me.
So powerlifting is about 70% mental, I'd say. I think everybody's strong, they just gotta tap into their strength and program properly, and I think if you have that, you can be a strong person. And but if you're mentally not there, then you won't be able to lift that weight off the ground.
Totally agree with that statement that mental strength is that's the strongest part of your body is the mind. And if you don't have it, we've seen people come down in our gym here and just blow us away with what they can do. Come competition day, they fall to pieces, and it's not funny because we know that they've done it down here and their form has been great, everything's been great, and you get them there and literally they are shaking, they are vibrating, they are so nervous.
Going through my mind for the first few attempts, probably just trying to finish it, trying to get it done. I think I don't try to think too much. It's just get the lift done, make sure I get the white lights that I need, and I'm good.
Oh, the Westman Strength Classic. This was the second event that was held in the Brandon area over the last couple of years. I think the first event was 2 years ago. It was at a different facility. Where it falls into the schedule for Manitoba, it was the second meet of the year. On average, we've been handling about 4 meets a year in Manitoba.
So the entire process is for the day is pretty long. Restless nights, just because you're pretty anxious. And then when you wake up, it's just early mornings. You come in, do weigh-ins, you get your equipment checked, and then depending on which flight you're in, whether you're in the first, if you're in the first, then you warm up right away. If you're in the second, you warm up a little later, and then if you're in the third, you warm up last. So the 3 specific lifts we're doing today is squat, bench, deadlift. So obviously you have 3 attempts for each lift, and you just have to do the most weight you can do for 1 rep. My favorite lift right now is deadlift. I've really tweaked it, and it's come a long way from, because that's how I got injured originally 2 years ago. And then I tweaked it, it got a lot better, I changed my form, and then I feel really confident with it again, and I think that's what I'm most proud of right now. Of course, so there's a bit of strategy. You have to, if there's competition that you're going up against, then you obviously have to make sure you beat them in terms of the number that you lift. And then you have what's called a Wilks score, so basically body weight versus the weight you lift.
If you don't have some nerves when you come into a meet, then you're probably not prepared the way you should be. Everyone should be a little nervous, no matter how many times you compete. But you don't want those nerves to overwhelm you.
My strengths as a competitor, I'm realistic. I don't try to overdo it. And that's not to bash on anyone, it's more to bash on myself, because I have these huge goals in my mind, but it's like, yeah, you know what, I probably can't get that. But, you know, again, it's part of that. Like, if I can push myself, I'll push, but if not, then I'll be realistic about it. Today, for my goals, try to break 1,300 total, trying to get a 400 Wilks, trying to win my weight class, trying to win best open. I mean, there's a lot, but really just try to do better than I did in my last competition. That's the biggest thing.
Come on.
Hey, that's it.
Let's keep going.
Out of all the meets I've done, that was probably the best one I've ever had. Perfect score considering going 9 for 9 in powerlifting. You have 3 tries for 3 lifts, so 9 lifts, went 9 for 9, didn't miss any. And you have to get a minimum of at least 2 white lights. I managed to get white lights for every single one except for 1 red light in total. So I mean, overall it was an amazing meet for me. Prepped quite well, a lot of confidence going into that one. Haven't had that in years since like my first meet. So it was good to compete again. And I'm really looking forward to what's to come.
Henry came in as a light at this meet. He was weighed in light. He was just missed the 74 kilo class, but I think he just didn't worry about where he was. So he lifted at 83 kilos. And if I'd been coaching Henry, I think we could have pushed him into possibly a gold medal position.
Second place, silver, Henry DeGuzman.
He finished as the lightest lifter in that class. He finished silver, and he had a higher coefficient than the winner by about 22 points because of his body weight, but he lifted great.
To be honest, I think the biggest thing I learned was just having patience and just being honest with myself. I used to always just rush in and just go guns blazing, just all out until I die kind of thing. But this one I really kind of controlled myself. And the numbers I selected too were just on the dot. They were the exact numbers they should have been for each and every single attempt was the ones I was supposed to hit. So it was perfect. And I think what I learned, the biggest thing was just patience. That was the biggest thing I learned about myself, and just trying to be honest with myself. I think that was the biggest thing too.
What strikes me about him is his demeanor. He's very calm. He doesn't get riled or upset, and he generally puts on a good performance. If you have that drive, then you're going to succeed, and I think Henry has that drive.
What's next now is just compete at Westerns. Try to be a little bit competitive. I don't know how competitive I'll be, but I'll try to be as competitive as I possibly can be. And then if everything goes well, then next step after that is nationals. So just try to take it one competition at a time, step by step, just prep and then go back into the process again. I mean, this is where it all goes down, is just train, 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 and then just kind of reap the rewards later. Just hope for the best.